Shalom, shalom. All praise and glory to the Most High, Ahaya, and His Son Yeshaya, who we all know as Jesus Christ. I'm over here on the reservation, on the Navajo reservation. I'm helping out my mother and father-in-law. I just got done feeding their sheep. So I'm just doing a quick video for all my indigenous people out there on the reservation, and those that are from the East Coast to the West Coast, the North and South, and all the islands in between. Still spreading that word. Just to let you know I'm still here, that I haven't went nowhere. I'm still one nation, one power, all praise and glory. I know some of you guys are probably wondering what happened to me, but I'm still here, man. I'm still with the brothers and still with the sisters, all praise and glory. Like I say, I'm just out here helping my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. But I just want to give an encouragement to all our people out there, especially on the reservation. I know we've been through a lot and we've seen a lot, especially with what's going on now with all this deportation. And I was going to do a video before about that, but, the Most High put in my spirit to do it now. I just want to tell the people out there, all these things are going to have to come, man. All these things are going to have to happen. We must go through this trial, through this tribulation. But those that are keeping the truth and righteousness, this is our building block. This tests who we are as indigenous people, as holy people, as people of the book, people of the promise, people that have the spirit of the Most High within them. So like I said, I'm feeding these sheep right here, and it's amazing, man. Something as simple as this, taking care of livestock, it lets you think a lot about other things that you don't think about when you're out there in the towns and the cities, man. Because you have to come out every morning, right, in the afternoon and feed them. They're in a corral right now, but they depend on a provider to provide them with feed and then water right there. And it's so amazing how the Most High describes us as being His sheep. And also we depend on our provider, which is the Most High. Like the scripture says, that we depend on His word, every word, and we hold on to that. That we don't survive on bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out the mouth of God, right? So just want to say shalom to everybody that's coming on live. Brother Quadash, Delphine. We got, I can't see what this is, but yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just telling the nations to endure, man. The reservation, we got to endure this. We got to make sure that we are keeping true to who we are as people of the book. I know many of our native people, they don't believe that we are the children of Israel, but those that are in Christianity, at least they're following some, And I'm going to give a shout out to Brother Quadash and Anna for doing their lesson yesterday about how we are the temple. We've been looking for the abomination of desolate in other places, but we got to first look at ourselves and see who we are and see what we are to see whether or not we are keeping the truth or following the word, following His commandments. Yeah, I'm going to give you a view of what it looks like where I'm at. See that right there? I'll see if I can pan in. Yep. So there we go, man. This is where my wife's from. It's called Lower Greasewood or Greasewood Springs. I brought Quadash out here once. I brought him out here. We butcher a sheep and put it on the grill, grilled it. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful place, man. But like I was saying, man, These sheep depend on a provider to provide for them every day. And we got to depend on the Most High every day, even through these times, man. I know we see the time approaching. I know the time is near. And at these times, it really tests who you are to see whether or not you're going to stay true and be righteous and continue to be righteous. Because we see many people fall out. We see many people come in and then we see them fall out. We see many people that, just because these things are happening, they've seen things like this happen before and nothing has ever happened to to make them believe that God is real or the prophecies are real. But I want to let you guys know something, man. I mean, and then out here on the reservations, we see all these stuff, man. We've seen all these things before. We've been through it. We're still living in our land. We are still living in the land of our captivity. So we've seen all these things happen before. And because we have seen it before, we believe that, it's going to keep on going, but it's not going to keep on going. There's going to be an end to all this sorrow. I just want to share with you a scripture. I know a lot of our people are aware or that are in Christianity. We're going to have to go through all this. All these things are the beginning of sorrow. We're going to have to see all these wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, hunger and earthquakes in diverse places. And we're going to have to see all this stuff. But that just makes you who you are, man, as being the Most High's chosen, being able to hold on to truth and righteousness, even in these desolate times. And all those that are in the truth, I encourage you to keep on holding on to the truth. Because there are going to be people out there, mocking you, scoffing you, telling you about the things that you believe in are not real, that you're being brainwashed. Well, if this is brainwashing, then, I must have clear thoughts, right? I'm finally thinking clear. And I don't mind that. I don't mind this brainwashing because I finally have a clear conscience. Finally can think clearly. But hey, man, I mean, with all that, bro, I just want to say, to my native people, man, and to everybody out there, man, Black, Mexican, natives, people that call themselves white, Asian, or anybody, man, you got to hold on, man. Hold on, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And at this time, man, it's for real, man. It's time for you to step up your game and hold on to truth, man. But like I said, I just wanted to do a quick video, just urging the native peoples out here, because I'm out here on the reservation, and it's always prophetic to speak God's word from the place of where your people come from, man. And that was actually given to me by Kemda, man. When I first entered into the truth, I spoke to my own language when I was praying. And she told me, man, like, did you know what you just did? You just now made a way for your people to hear the truth. There's always a barrier, man. There's always a barrier where where the principalities is keeping the truth from being heard. So looking at that aspect in a spiritual sense, man, speaking this word right now on the reservation, we're allowing the people on the reservation, the Navajo Nation right now, to get a chance to hear the word. And also, man, just to let you know, man, like what was it? I think a week ago, my mother-in-law, and check this out. My mother-in-law was in Winslow, right? Yeah, in Winslow. And guess what? IUIC, they actually approached her, gave her a pamphlet, so the Israelites are actually coming out this far now, man, getting close to the Navajo reservation and Hopi reservation. So eventually, man, they're going to stumble across what we have and what we know, because we've been out here established a long time, man. And we One Nation, One Power has brought this message out to this reservation years before. And I'm just waiting, man. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen. because we know how the Most High moves, man. One man planted, another man water it, but the Most High gets the increase. So right now we're waiting to see, man. Waiting to see what happens. But I still got more to do here. Yeah, so I just did a quick video just so I can bring that out. But yeah, I'm gonna answer this brother's question right here, talking about the multiple reservations. Are they largely receptive? It's hard, man. I tell you what, it's hard to reach the native people out here, man, because a lot of them are still stuck in tradition, and then the other half is like Christians. Then you got some that are called what's that? The Native American Church. That's with the teepees and the peyote. They infuse Christ in tradition. Almost like the Catholics. But I tell you what, man. I know me and Kodash, we spoke many times about different things, and he said this to me before too, man. It's like, you know what? I see a lot of parallels. A lot of what's that? Yeah, I could draw a lot of parallels between the scriptures and then, well, what the traditional does. What they do in their ceremonies. And I brought this out many times. And I know the Israelites out there, some of them use what I say, but not everybody. Because I don't know, man. The Most High probably didn't give it to them, but like for one thing, like a wave offering, right? If you go back into Leviticus and you look at the wave offering and how they did the wave offering, it's similar. I mean, it's exact. I'm gonna say it's exact to what the Native Americans do, right? To make an example, like say if I had like a, I don't know, like food, okay, like food, water, or either a gift, or either I'm presenting a gift to somebody or receiving a gift from somebody, right? So I'll have that in my hand. I will wave it up to the north, to the east, to the south, to the west. Then I'll raise it up, right? Raise it up, and then I'll give it forth to, as an offering, either a present or a gift to someone, or an offering to, the spirits. I'm gonna use traditional terms, and give it to the spirits. So, and then when you read the scriptures, the Levites, right, the priests, before they when they made a sacrifice as a wave offering, they would have to wave it to all 12 tribes. And as you know, there was, encampments like 3 tribes on the north, 3 tribes on the west, 3 tribes on the south, 3 tribes on the, in the east. And of course, they'll have to wave it up to the Most High, right? Lift it up to the Most High, and then present it onto the altar. And that's the exact same way how we present an offering, or a gift. It's the same thing with what's that? The fine flour, the fine flour offering. The same thing in the native terms. They'll say throwing in it. What's that? They'll say offering cornmeal to the 4 winds, right? Now think about that. 4 winds. Even though we're using the terms 4 winds, it's still the 4 directions. The 12 tribes on the 4 directions of the encampment, also lifting it up to the Most High and then placing it on the altar. And that's with every tribe, and it's, I mean, when I was in Christianity, I never seen that. But when I was in tradition, I did that all the time, because we always had to pray with cornmeal. Got the cornmeal, we throw it into the 4 winds, lift it up to the Creator, and then put it on the ground. I did a short video on that with the Hopi guy, Thomas, and that's just a exact description of what the Levites were doing. They were waving the meat up, to the 12 tribes, to the Most High, and then placing it on the altar. But things like that, yeah. Okay, what's it, Wallace? Hey, how's it going, man? What's up, brother? Hey, so you're Lakota, huh? So I'm pretty sure you guys do the same thing too, right? With the offering, man, because it's like that in everything. And also another thing that we used to do It's when we give a gift offering, we will actually breathe on it, like speak onto our gift, like if I was to give something to someone, I would I would breathe onto it, which is like a blessing, like here you go, my brother, may this whatever it is serve you good. If it's a bow and arrows, that may you have many hunts with this, may it protect your family, and you breathe on it, which is like a blessing, and then you give it to the person, and the person will get it, and he will take a deep breath or inhale to accept your blessing. I mean, there's just a lot of things that we can make connections with. you know so hey, Wallace, are you have you been on the channel for a long time, or is this your first time, if you don't mind me asking? All right. Spirit of light. The same thing with my family. They're stuck in their native ways. Hey man, same here, bro. My family is still traditional. I know my brother used to like joke around, about me following the scriptures, because I was never like this, bro. I was never I was in tradition, deep, man. I was ready, and that's the thing, bro. I was how can I say it? Okay, I was always in and out of jail. My wife, she's a Christian. Her uncle was the Christian pastor of a Methodist church out here on the reservation, and they will always go there. We'll always go, and they mostly spoke Navajo, so I didn't really listen to anything that they were talking about. I just read the Bible, you know. But every time, man, every year when we had our ceremonies, and there's just one ceremony what's supposed to lock you in, into our tribe. It's called feather tying, our prayer feathers. You know, Once you do that, then you're like locked in, and you have to do it in every year. But every year that I was supposed to go, something always happened, man. Like, I was always in jail. I always went to jail at that time, and I never got a chance to do it. And then one year when I was about to do it, that's when I met a Yale, brother Don. Man, I met him, and from there it's just I never looked back. You know, and it was like it was how can you say it? I had to keep my composure of being who I am as indigenous, but then trying to be Christian. It was hard, man. But once I found out the truth and knew that we were the children of Israel, everything fell in place. Then it wasn't hard, man. Then I was able to be. I was actually proud of who I am. Proud that I was raised up the way I was raised up, because now I could see the connection between our people and the children of Israel. You know, I can see the connection clearly, and it just made a lot more sense. Like even with our people fighting against giants, and I've said this many times, man. Many times our people have stories about fighting the giants out here in on the Hopi Reservation, or even on the Navajo Reservation, but then also all the way into the Lakotas and what's that, the Paiutes, the Utes in Nevada, all these people, man. And it just made sense. Like, we we just been through a lot, bro. And we're gonna go through a lot more. And I'm glad that my brothers are out there putting out this message, And also Yale putting out this message. Man, I know it's been a while since I put out anything, man. But I know, like I said, man, I just came on here just to tell my brothers and sisters that I'm still here, and I know that I gotta do more. I gotta do more. I gotta show my people, because they're still out. There's still people out there who are still on the borderline, man. Don't know what to do, what to accept. Because being in jail, man, I tell you what, being in jail, my tradition couldn't really help me, because I had to be in the kiva to practice my tradition. I had to be there to practice, to learn the ceremonies and stuff. So they couldn't do that in the jail. So that's when I started reading the Bible. And at that time, even my mom and my dad says it's okay to learn the white man's way, right? You can pray on both sides. That's what they used to say. But in our language, it says we meaning like you ask on both sides, you know. But then when I came into the truth, man, and find out who Christ is, find out who God is, our Creator, find out who we are as a people, not as 500 nations or 500 tribes, but as one big tribe, man, the children of God. One nation, the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, Once I found that out, it just made a lot more sense to me of why we are in the position that we are in, and why all these atrocities that happen to our people, and how resilient we are, to come out of all this tribulation. And right now we're going through even more tribulation, not just us, but the Mexicans, you know, going through their tribulations too. We know for a fact that the Mexicans that are here, it's not like this is not their land. I'm not saying, because they're before colonization, before the state lines were ever drawn. There was always trade between the people of the Southwest to Mexico. There was always that trade there. That's a bond, an ancestral bond that has been there for centuries, man. And it's still alive today. And that's one thing in our DNA that we do recognize and do accept. That's why it's happening the way it happens, man. It's happening like the way it's happening right now with all these riots, with all this with all these things that are happening today. I mean, it's just the same thing that has happened before, and we see it, we know it, we understand it. But now, we're just waiting on the Most High to move. And we know he's going to move, because he said he's going to move for us, man. And all we got to do is endure to the end. Keep holding on to the truth. Keep helping out our brothers and sisters, loving our brothers and sisters, you know. And, hey, man, I mean, like the gospel said, man, we must love each other as we love Christ. As Christ loved us, we should love the church. But yeah, man, it just feels good being out here. And even Quadash, my brother out there, he gave me a word of wisdom, correction, love. Gave me the word in love. When he's talking about, yeah, I know you out there helping. I know it's always in your spirit to do that, But you can't be selfish, bro. You gotta get this thing right, man. You gotta go get your place over there settled, man. And I was like, I know, man. And time is dwindling, man. We gotta go. But that's the thing, man. The Most High has I don't know how to say it, man. I mean, the Most High has me where I'm at right now, and I'm taking Qadash's word, brother Ayil, Phil and Anah's word, and Yakim's word, and I'm just accepting it, man. The Most High is gonna have me where I'm gonna be at when all breaks loose, and I'm gonna be thankful, man. Be thankful for everything he has done for me and all the words that he has been giving me. And this is my father-in-law's little farm, man. We're trying to get it going. As you see, there's no trees out here, right? You don't see no trees. But my father-in-law planted these trees right here, and we're just trying to keep it going. But yeah, man. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work here for them. But hey, man. All praise and glory, man. It's good to see you, brothers and sisters, and I miss you guys, man. That's right. Spirit of light. Well, there you go, man. Even for you, bro, what you're experiencing right now, man, you're standing in the gaps for your people, man. You got the Mexican side of you, and you got your indigenous side of you, the traditional side of you, and that's what we're doing, man. We're bringing that forth, man. That's why it's important that when we get baptized, right? When we get baptized, we ask the Most High to forgive us of our sins of our forefathers, right? The sins of our forefathers, so that as us bearing Christ, right? As us being righteous, we help, you know, put an end to that generational curse. You know? But that's all right, man. What's that, Navajo grandma? Yeah, I seen her. I actually commented on her video. She has a lot of wisdom, man. She knows about the tribes. You know, I believe when I messaged her, she told me that her son was either her son or one of her relatives was bringing out the truth. I never met her son or never talked to them, but yeah, one of her family members is actually in the truth, man. And all she said was, "All praises, may the Most High bless you in what you're doing." Yeah, lost child, man. I'm still here, bro. Like I said, man, I had to come on and at least present myself, man, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there that you know that remember me from the beginning, and now that these new people are coming up, they don't even know who I am, man. But it's all good. But yeah, but yeah, Israel, yeah, man, she did give some insight on the information about our people, and it's I mean, how can I say it? If you ever look at this History Channel about the Ark of the Covenant coming to Arizona in the Painted Desert, right out there in Holbrook, they show you a picture, drawn on a rock, and if you ever see that picture, we the Hopi people actually have that on our what do you call it? Um, we call it a tablet, and it's a tablet where it's used for ceremonies, and those two things we call them thunderbirds or water birds, you know, and we're just using English terms, but when you put it in a spiritual sense, man, we got to think about what the thunderbird is or what a water bird is, I know when we think of water birds, we think about the birds just around the water, but if you look up into the sky, we know that the Most High sends his angels to bring forth the rain, that angels that have flight, in in um in the way we spoke back then, that was probably the only way we can describe it, as it being water birds. But also, man, like even the Havasupai down in Grand Canyon, I don't know if you guys ever, researched them or seen that video about them. Christ Safari, they actually got an okay to actually go down there to the Havasupai tribe in Grand Canyon and perform for them, because a lot of the indigenous people, man, the natives out here, bro, and we're into reggae, bro. It's it's the music, but also it's about smoking that pipe, But that's why I was into it when I was back in that day, man. But yeah, man, to have a Supai tribe have a story, or I'm not gonna say a story, have a tradition, an oral tradition, an oral how can I say well, the only way I can say is the story, man, that has been passed down from generation to generation, and they use it through their healing ceremony. And he's talking about how when they were doing their ceremony, they had like, I forgot how many warriors were actually transported, or yeah, they say it was transported to a place where they seen a guy hanging on a tree, and blood being gushing out from his body, you know And then the way he understood it was Christ's crucifixion. But yeah, man, you gotta check that out, man. I mean, stories like this has been in our oral tradition for many generations. But the thing is, like, our people has not yet put them together. You know, we have not put these things together yet. I mean, yeah, we got, when we first came into the truth, yeah, we had Deuteronomy 28. We had the numbers. About the fringes. You know, we had these. How can you say that? These stepping stones. But then when you go further into the scriptures and actually see, actual connections, it makes a big difference. And then hearing the stories about our people, about 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 what Navajo grandmother said, about how the sand painting he was painting on Jerusalem, you know, and then also to have a supai talking about seeing Christ's crucifixion, about when they stabbed him and how they had him on, hanging on a tree, and that ceremony that they sing that song is for healing, for the warriors. How you doing, beloved from Winnebago? How you doing, sis? But yeah, man, I mean, there's just so much, bro. And even with the Hopis, man, talking about how when they came into this fourth world, right? They're actually led by a fire to the place that they now reside. A pillar of fire. I know it doesn't say a cloud by day, but they said they were led by a pillar of fire. They said that, they came up to this world and they met the what they call the fire god, right? Which they call Masa or Masayu, which people translate as the Messiah. And fire god, we know that the Most High is in covered or encompassed with flame, you know. So I mean, like I say, a lot of our oral traditions, we use the words that we could understand, but now that we have increased intelligence, we could put all these narratives together, and then we have a full understanding of what we're reading, of what our people were talking about. You know, it's just amazing, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna have to endure to this very end, my brothers and sisters, especially those on the reservation. And like I said, I'm feeding these guys right here, man. Man, if you ever, like right now, man, I know I just had you watching the sheep, but they're humble creatures, man, and they're very picky too. Like you see right here, this water, you have to clean that water out every time, man, because they won't drink it, right? They won't drink it. They're just that picky, and that's just something that we got to do. If you're gonna have livestock like this. But then again, it goes for the same way for the people of God. You know, yeah, I know we're picky too, man. We were picky when we're in the Christian church, right? We like this pastor, not that pastor. This pastor said good things. That pastor always said bad things, you know. But then when we come into the truth and we hear the truth and the true words, all the message are pure, It comes out just like water, right? Well of living water. But yeah, man, I mean, just studying, just looking at these sheep, man, you can see, man, you can see I can say, the characteristics of our people in them, man. Because you got these young ones out here enduring the sun, eating as much as they can. Then you got the elders over there, right? You see that? Staying away from the heat, trying to cool down. Shoot. And you got these guys right here. And you got the buck, the male sheep, right in there, man. I tell you what, man, that buck, he likes to hit people, and he's greedy, man. Before everybody starts to eat, he wants to eat first. Hey, that sounds like some of the people we know, right? You know, people that want to be greedy, people that want to force their way into everything, man. But yeah, man, I just thought I'd just come up and say what's up to everybody, show them my love, show them I'm still here. And if you got any questions, man, I'm feel free to answer. I mean, feel free to ask me, and I'll answer you. Because we came a long ways, man. Brother Quadash, Sabio, you know, even the new. I mean, I'm not gonna call them new brothers because they've been here for a while now, man. I mean, just to see the growth in them, man. Shoot, it's amazing, man. Like brother Anav, Yakim, Phil, you know, even the other brothers that don't do videos, man. You got Country Mike, Oklahoma Mike, man. All these brothers, man. Who else? Oh, Carl, man. It's awesome, man. Seeing all these brothers come together, man. But then it hurts too, man, when you see them not get along. and and it's the same with these sheep, man. When this buck tries to come and bully his way into the feed and try to keep these other sheep from eating, you're gonna have to break out that stick, man. Yeah, man, you have to break out the stick. So we got this pole right here. See that? The shepherd pole, man. That buck, when he's being greedy, he's got to hit. You got to push him out of the way, man. You got to nudge him, man, so the other ones can eat too, man, because he'll eat it all, bro. It's the same for us too, man. Being in this truth, you got brothers that you know, that are still stuck in their ways, still stuck in the ways of the world. You know, sometimes you just gotta break out that stick and let them know, man. Give them that open rebuke, you know. But we've been through a lot, man. Like I said, man, these sheep it reminds me of us, you know. And I mean, believe it or not, man, sheep are gullible too, man. You know, we have one sheep. I think it's that one right there. Check this out. Let me give you an example, man. That one right there. No, I think it's the other one. It's facing the other way. Now, that's a grandma. That's a grandma sheep, all right? And she's half blind, so we can't let her out and let her eat, you know, because you know, we think that she won't find her way back home. But since she being a grandma sheep, she knows this whole terrain. You know what I mean? Even in this corral, man, she knows she'll feel the way all the way along the fence, all the way through here. Come, she'll like bump into these trails, and then she knows exactly where the food's at, right? In the same way, if she goes the other way, she'll hit she'll actually hit those gates right there, and they'll make the metal sound, you know, like a like when you hit the something that's metal, she'll hit those, and then she'll follow it all the way to here. If she's in the middle right here, she'll come into this tree and notch this tree, and then she'll go around it and then come to the feed. You know, and the reason why I'm saying that is because you know, sometimes you got people that might stray from the truth a little bit, you know, or that don't know the truth yet. But eventually, right? Eventually, man, you're gonna find your way to the truth. You're gonna find your way to what the Most High is providing for you. Now, if that grandma sheep was to give up and not even get up and try, she will not be fed because, like I said, she's blind. She knows where the feed's at. She knows where the water's at. But I want to say something else, man. You see the distance between. I mean, if I wanted to make it easier for that grandma sheep, I could have put her in a small corral, right? Put all this right available for her just to eat it when she stands up. But no, she has this whole space. She has to make that effort. So if that grandma sheep was to give up and not even try, she would die, right? She would perish. But even for us, man, if we don't get up every day, you know, like Brother Quadash and Ayah, if they don't get up every day and do what they're doing, giving you and providing you the, you know, the scriptures, you know, because like I say, you know, we don't survive on bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. So if they don't get up to feed us or give us that spiritual nourishment that we need, you know, what do you think will happen to us, man? We'll still be blind in this world, man, not seeing the truth. And even though those that are blind, right, they're gonna have a way. There's always a way for them to come to the truth. God will provide it for them, and not only that, but sometimes that grandma sheep will like actually nudge the one of the little lambs, because that I think the one right there, right next to her, that's her lamb, right? This one right there, that's her lamb right there. It will nudge that lamb, and that lamb will start walking. Then the grandma sheep will follow him over here to the feed. But yeah, man, that's how we need each other's, man. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man, it's a simple thing, man. Using this as a way to teach. But hey, man, I gotta find something, right? This is the seal portion right here, bro. Lost child. Yeah, man. How's my son? Well, both of my sons, they're doing good, man. My older son, he's over at Sholo right now, taking care of our house. Hopefully, you know, he's into those games, but I know he's doing good. My little boy, he's in there with his little sister or his cousin. You know, they're probably playing some, man. But yeah, man, he comes out here, he helps me out, feeds these guys. You know, gotta show them the ropes, you know. Just like how we were when we were kids, man. We had to do this for our dad, man. Yeah, I'm just giving you some down to earth message, you know, to let you know, man. Check this out, man. Kadash, I'm stubborn, man. Yeah, man, I'm a stubborn sheep, man. At least I'm not a goat. Yeah, I know where my food's at, man. I know where my strength lies, man. I know who's my shepherd, you know. Goats don't know that, man. They want to be themselves, be by themselves. Think that everything comes to them, man. For real. That's the characteristics of a goat, man. They think they're just born. That's your atheist right there. Your goat is your atheist. For real. Because when you try to put a goat in a pen like this, and like in a corral like this, they'll jump out. Because yeah, they're free spirited. But the thing is, you know, they think that everything's just around them, just to be around them for them, you know. The feed is all theirs, the water is all theirs. Like in their mind, they're thinking, oh, if I just sit here, water will come to me. Hay will come to me, you know. Like, oh, I'm yeah, man, like for real, man. Goats like that. You know, they don't like sheep, you know. So they're crazy, man. But yeah, bro. Like I said, man, I started coming real quick. But hey, man, I was supposed to go check on the cows now, man. We got cows down there. I gotta go give them water. I think they jumped the fence, so I gotta have to put them back in. Yeah, man, goats are crazy, bro. Yeah, see goats all day, bro. Yeah, bro, man. And see, man, even that's a narrative, man. That's a true narrative right there. Like even Christ, man. When Christ looked at the people, talking about how you know how there's only one way to enter the kingdom, right? It's through the narrow gate. You know, goats, like I said, they don't try to go through the gate, man. They'll try to jump the fence, hop the fence. If they see feet in here, they will not come to the gate. They will actually try to climb in, you know, some other way. And think about that, you know. Christ said that a thief tries to come in by another way, right? The same with a goat, man. A goat will try to break in through the side fences or something, man, just to get in to have what the sheep are eating. But it's a good thing we don't have no ghosts. But you know, but yeah, man, out there in Hopi, my brother and I, we were raised up, having sheep, and we had goats, and they're like that, man. That's right. Yeah, I just want to say much love to all you guys. I'm gonna go check on these cows and make sure they have water. But yeah, man, I'll give you one more view of the Navajo reservation here, man. It's where my wife's from right here. That's her family over there, her aunts, her grandmother's on that side. It's called Lower Greasewood. And we got the mesas right there. Yeah, man, it's nice, man. And just like you guys on the land out there on the land of Zion, you know how you have the open skies, right? And how you see all the orbs, the chariots. The same here, man. Check this out, man. See all these clouds? See that? Now they barely got power, man. When my wife was growing up, they didn't have power here. You know, it was just all solar power. But they finally got power now. But yeah, man, look at that. Blue skies, the clouds, all praises, man. See that? It's a pan shot of the house right there. But yeah, man. But yeah, bros and sisters, this is where I'm at right now. But I'll be out there soon. And that's amazing, man. Because I was talking to my son, my little boy, the other day about how the Most High, how He created everything, right? And how and how the Most High has intelligence, and how we are supposed to have like manner intelligence, because he was looking up on YouTube about the dodo bird, how it became like a flightless bird, how it actually flew to the island before, and then became a dumb bird, And I says, you know what, we're the same way too, man. If we don't exercise our brains, because right now we only work with like 10% of our mind, we got to be able to work, beyond that, and that's where our faith comes in. That's where, now it's telling him that you got to read more, you got to read, you got to learn different things, you got to try different things, like you got to experiment with different things, And then he said, is that why the Most High is like intelligent? Because he had to create all this? And it's like, yeah. So is that why he's so smart? Because he had to make the clouds, the birds, the food, and just as a kid, describing different things. It's like, yeah, man, that's how he had to create all these things, because he had to have an intelligence. And for us, we got to have that same intelligence too, knowing that when we do something, it's going to have an effect. Are we doing it for good? Are we doing it for evil? Are we doing things that are right? Are we, we got to constantly increase our intelligence. And I told him that, right now the Most High has, is going to eventually open our minds to where we can, be able to, speak telepathically, just what Ayil was talking about the other day, about how, we're able to, communicate through our spirit, and hearing my son talk about that, it's like, you know what, he's thinking beyond what I was thinking at that age. I know all of us wanted to fly and all that stuff, but just seeing him in his young state, just playing, having his imagination, it's like, it just makes you think, like, these imaginations, just think about it. How, if you're, I mean, I know, like, I'm getting lost here, man. When we take tests in schools, right? And we had to circle A, B, or C, and if we didn't circle C, it was the wrong answer. How our mind got trapped or encased in just thinking that C had to be the right answer. But if we had a free thought, a free mind, like a child, to where we can think about how good He is and how intelligent He is about His creation. Just think how much more powerful we are in our mind to believe and to think and to live like that. There's no boundary that we can set in our mind if we have a mind like that. And when we look into space or into the sky, we see the limitless, space. We know it goes further than this. We know it goes past through galaxies, through different solar system, as they, as how we describe it.